these were just a few of the species that fell victim to market hunting. Something had to be done.
Dear United States Senator Stone, give ducks a show. We don't want spring shooting. We want government protection. Give us a chance to vote on a treaty with England, and we'll show you a whole lot of Missourians don't cooperate with town dudes who want to shoot ducks on nests. Been told, you as head of foreign committee have the right to let us vote on it. I do not know whether you are a duck shooter, but if you lived here, you'd soon know that birds are getting scarce, and that the slaughter in the spring is doing it. We'll be mighty thankful if you help out the treaty. Joseph W. Linville.
On August 16, 1916, Canada and the United States agreed to a migratory bird treaty. Over the next 2 years, both nations enacted federal legislation committing to the treaty agreement. The treaty consisted of a closed season during which migratory birds could not be hunted, and a 10-year hunting ban on several species. It prohibited the taking of nests and eggs, and even banned the trafficking of migratory birds. It had a profound impact. Market hunting was limited effectively, and over the next 30 years, the abstract idea of conservation had found its way into the spotlight.
Three years after his death, Canada continues to honor famed naturalist Jack Miner. The father of conservation won immortality by luring thousands of Canada geese to his home, creating the first sanctuary where birds could be safe from the hunter's gun. Jack developed a bird banding system, allowing him to trace the migratory routes of Canada geese across North America. The simple address, Jack Miner, Kingsville, Ontario, stamped on each bird tag, became one of the most famous on the continent. Jack ranked among the best-known men of his time. His peers, Thomas Edison, Charles Lindbergh, Henry Ford, and Captain Eddie Rickenbacker. Seeking his friendship were presidents, prime ministers, and the world's celebrities. Here's Jack with baseball's legendary Ty Cobb. That's it, Ty. Right out of the park. When the Birds of Passage bought return tickets south, Wild Goose Jack toured the continent, spreading the gospel of conservation. In 30 years of lecturing, he packed every major auditorium in North America. As the author of 3 wildlife books and numerous articles, he etched his name into history. In 1943, Miner was awarded the Order of the British Empire by King George VI, who christened him the greatest conservationist in the British Empire. As a lasting memorial, the Canadian Parliament has decreed that each year the anniversary of Jack's birth will be observed as National Wildlife Week. Writer, philosopher, teacher, conservationist, Wild Goose Jack is gone, but his memory lives on. The name Jack Miner soars among the titans of time.
In 1947, the management and conservation of wildlife transitioned from a provincial responsibility, as outlined by the treaty, to a federal undertaking in the form of the Dominion Wildlife Service, which later became the Canadian Wildlife Service. Almost overnight, a handful of dedicated scientists became responsible for the continued prosperity of numerous species. But with the odds stacked against them, there was one thing that balanced the scale: their freedom. Harrison Lewis, veteran biologist and the service's first director, outlined this sentiment in saying, "I took a great deal of pride and delight in the young men of the Dominion Wildlife Service, who were going into the vast expanses of northern Canada with prospects and opportunities before them, such as have seldom been equaled. With plenty of elbow room, they were not hemmed in by any office routine. They were well trained for their chosen work, and were supplied with the funds, equipment, and cooperation necessary to do it." Aside from the well-trained part, it was easy to see ourselves in the position of the young pioneering biologist described by Lewis. With these encouraging words in mind, we set out on our journey. Because this whole project existed as a celebration of the Migratory Bird Treaty's centennial, we were joined by 2 American counterparts, Jean and Christian, in the spirit of true international cooperation. Back when we started planning this film, we figured it needed to be done by region: the city, the wetlands, the coast, and so on. But over the course of the trip, we saw firsthand that environmental challenges can't be broken down along clear lines. Like the birds we were following, these issues easily cross all manner of boundaries. As we spent more and more time with experts, we began to notice something else. While the treaty initiated the spread of conservation, the conservation that we encounter today is not possible without two crucial and interconnected practices: monitoring and research.